the line with us is Kristi Crowell, excuse me, the executive director of Fair Share America, a longtime organizer. FairShareUSA.org is the website. FairShareAmerica.bluesky.social over on Blue Sky. Kristen, welcome to the program. Tell us about your plans for April 10th. I think everybody's been talking about April 5th, this coming Saturday, but you've got something for the following week.
We have events that just keep on going.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. April 10th is Fair Share America's fly-in day, where over 500 people from all across the country will be coming to Washington, D.C. to rally against the GOP's budget plan that takes trillions of our tax dollars in tax giveaways for the wealthy at the expense of programs that families rely on, such as Medicaid, nutrition, and supports and services that our neighbors and communities need. So we will be bringing it to D.C. to push members of Congress to get on the right side of this policy.
I understand you have at least already 4 members of Congress who will be there with you.
We do. We do have members of Congress that are coming, but I think equally important is we have impacted people who are living day to day with what this reality would look like if the GOP is successful, to tell the stories of what does this look like around their kitchen table, how would this impact their children, the veterans, the disabled community. So it's important to stand with members of Congress that are on our side, but equally important that the voices of the American public have their say in what is going down in Washington, D.C.
Kristen, give us some examples of the kind of stories that you expect will be told or that you've heard from the people who are going to be telling their stories.
No, thank you for giving an opportunity to give voice to these stories. I can share one, a nurse, Jenny, who serves impacted communities in the state of Michigan, has shared how this would impact the lives of her patients, how much fear right now is just part of the day-to-day reality, thinking about what would happen to folks, how would they get their conditions treated, how would they get their medication. Some of them rely on life-saving supports, such as a 4-year-old child with a brain tumor who relies on Medicaid for their health care. Families are really worried if these cuts go through. What is the plan to support and save, the health care that so many folks rely upon? And right now we're urging Congress to say no to these massive cuts that would impact millions of people. Yeah.
And this event on the 10th, your affiliate groups, AFL-CIO, AFSCME, AFT, Americans for Tax Fairness, Care in Action, Care Camp, you've got quite a list of other organizations that are pulling together. Is this a collaborative effort?
It is. Fair Share America is an organization that supports over 450 state-based organizations and the American public to have a voice in this tax fight. And the tax fight is really the through line that connects all of the things that we care about and that our communities rely upon in terms of public goods and supports that families need and count on our government and our tax dollars to provide for us.
Tell us about Fair Share America. How did the organization start? What do you do? What do people need to know?
Wonderful. Well, our website is www.fairshareusa.org, and we were started a little over a year ago, really specifically looking at this moment where at the end of this year, 2025, the 2017 Trump tax cuts expire. And this was a moment where a movement across the country has been building for over a decade with state-based organizations working at the local and state level. And for the first time, we have a unified strategy to take on the federal tax fight. And we're really working behind the scenes for, like I said, over a year to make sure that advocates and organizers had the tools and resources to get in this fight and to make sure that their constituents, their community members could be activated. And again, this was started before the November elections. And what we're seeing right now is just a massive uprising of people that are ready to fight back, and a populist movement that really is uniting all types of neighbors and communities, blue states, red states, to really push back and urge members of Congress to stand with us, the American public, and working families against the billionaire regime that has infected Washington, D.C.
So you said you have a unified strategy here to take on this. What is that strategy?
Well, number one, a lot of times folks in states don't have access to what's going on behind closed doors in Washington, D.C. And politicians think that they can, close the American public out, that deals get done in the dark. So number one, we're giving live updates to organizers on the ground to tell the story. What is happening in D.C.? What is their individual member of Congress doing day to day? What are the district implications? So if this passes in my district, what would it look like? We've done massive amounts of training and educating folks on the federal budget process, including bringing over 200 advocates and organizers to Washington in September of last year to help meet this moment. So everyone fully understood what this year was about and what this tax fight would look like.
Wow. So are you taking a position on taxes, or are you simply trying to prevent another massive tax cut? I mean,
our number one goal, given this environment, is to prevent another tax giveaway for the ultra rich. Mm-hmm. At the state level, there are many examples of progressive revenue campaigns that have won and have been very successful, including a Millionaires tax that was passed at the ballot in Massachusetts in 2022. We know that good, sound, progressive tax policy is not only more favorable, it's what the American public want, but it is able to deliver real resources to the programs and supports that families rely upon. In Massachusetts, we're seeing the Millionaires tax create over $3 billion a year in new revenue that is put directly into public education, higher ed, and public transit and infrastructure. So these policies are good policy, but they're also good politics. And when we look at the federal debate playing out right now, 80% of the American public is on our side. They do not want more tax cuts for the billionaires. They want investments in the very things we care about. And that is what this fight is. And Fair Share America and our organizers all across the country are helping voters, constituents get in this fight and make their voices heard to their members of Congress.
Is your Millionaires tax in Massachusetts an additional bracket in the income tax and a progressive income tax, or is it a wealth tax?
It's a surcharge on income over $1 million. So it's 4%. So 4 pennies on the dollar after you earn your first $1 million. Wow. And it was a constitutional change. And those funds are constitutionally mandated to go to education and transportation, again, to build the public good and build investments that everyone in the state of Massachusetts can benefit from.
That's absolutely remarkable. Kristi Crowell, the executive director of Fair Share America, longtime organizer. FairShareUSA.org is the website, and also Fair Share America over on Blue Sky. Kristen, thanks so much for dropping by. Great talking with you.
Thanks so much for having us.
My pleasure. My pleasure.